Hi everyone, this is Ann Clemmer and Stamper from StamperDog.com. We started off with this really easy to make watercolor card on his blog, and we're going to do it again, only a little bit different. Now you see how I took these two stamps from the same stamp set, and you want to put them on the block together, and you want to stamp them so that the tree and the bench are perpendicular to the bottom of your card, okay? Or parallel with the sides. And I'm going to make this a sympathy card, so I'm going to put that sympathy right there. And I'm going to put some water down, not a lot of water, but just dampen it. Now, because we're going to use a lot of water, we are using the shimmery white cardstock because it'll stand up to more water than the regular cardstock, but less than watercolor paper. We're starting off with yellow and we're going to spread it around. Now, I'm going to tell you, I guarantee this card looks better in real life. I just really love it, but we're making it look like we've got a bit of a nice sunset or sunrise going on there. It depends on how you look at it. And since it's a sympathy card, I'm betting sunset. Our next color that we're going to be adding to the sunset is pumpkin pie. Now, I don't mind going through that tree because when you look at a tree, you can see through it and see the sunset. Now, let's get rid of that little pokey tool, Matt. Don't want to mess that up. And you want to put enough down here to where it'll blend in a little bit, but not all together with the yellow. And so, sunsets aren't an exact science, and I'm sure that we could have streaks in here if we wanted to. When it's done, the streaks are not going to look the same as while we're making it. Now, I do say you can use more water with this, but you can't drench it. So you just really want to be careful with that. I always test it on my hand because that makes it a little bit easier to tell how much water is on there. And then the other thing is to draw out the water. If you want to have it lighter, draw out the water from the re-inker. And yes, that's what I'm using here, is the re-inkers that re-ink our ink pad. So that's two things that you can use it with. Now here I'm going to swirl it up a bit, but it's really easier to blend it while it's still wet and when you're first putting it on. But in any case, we're blending it the way we want to, or the way it's going down now. I'm leaving a little bit of white in there because that's okay. It's going to be lighter. But now we're going to go for the green. Now, in between colors, make sure that you wipe your aqua painter off onto a paper towel. Don't put it on your grid pad because one of these days you're going to put down a project and it's going to get gunked up because you had cleaned, you'd put something damp on your grid pad. So anyway, back to the grass. You don't have to get the lawnmower out for this one. And we're just going to blend it out and see, you can bring it down as far down as you wish. But, the tree, I think, needs some leaves. And so before we do that, let's put a little bit of blue sky back there. And I probably should have done it before I did the grass. But you can just put a little bit of blue sky behind where I've got the white, or else we can put it on the clouds. But you want it to be really faintly blue, not totally blue. And the reason I'm doing this, I would have left them white, but I did get a little bit of that orange on there. And yeah, it's pumpkin pie. Yeah. So anyway, and I don't want it to be dark because I don't want these to be dark skies, but I do want them to at least cover up where I got the pumpkin pie on there. So, and we can just kind of splish it, there we go, onto the little, any spaces that are still remaining. That's what's cool about a sky. You can put it together any way you want, and it's going to be right. So let's get to that tree. And when I do the tree, I want to be sure to do it in circular motions. And it doesn't have to be even. You want to go because that's the way the trees, the leaves would be. Now, if you're enjoying this, this is some value to you, you might want to try and sign up for my newsletter, because I do have a watercolor class that I do. It's an online class. It's several videos that you can watch and use other things other than the aqua painter to watercolor with, and it goes into a lot more depth than we're going into today. But hey, I kind of like the way that looks. I think it's a very peaceful, and that's really what I'm going for on a sympathy card. And remember to add a little extra green where we've got the patches there. And then we're going to get out the Real Red marker and make those little flowers. And then it's a soft suede marker for the bench. You could paint it in as well if you wish. And there we go with our Real Red marker. And then since we're using Old Olive for the grass, I've got Pear Pizzazz for the leaves on the flowers. All these markers are ones that you can get individually or in a large set or in a color family. You notice that the two stamps didn't go quite together, but that's okay because we painted them together. Make sure you get on our mailing list and check out our other, our watercolor class. Or stop by stamperdog.com. And hey, if you did like this video, please take a moment to give us a thumbs up. Or hey, better yet, why don't you write the dog a little note? I read them to him as bedtime stories. He just loves them. So there we have a really simple card that is thoughtful, and you can write your own special thoughts in there. But it's obviously a little work of art that's going to stick around for a long time. Oh, but wait. Here's something to do about those clouds, because they really don't look as dark as they look on the video. And just take a Wink of Stella and put that, and now they've got a sparkly, it's already shimmery paper, and now the clouds are actually sparkling. So, that can really speak to someone. This is Ann Klemmer and Stamper from stamperdog.com, where we try to put a little ink, paper, and fun into your day.